It was so good. You can't improve on it.
All right, now I just got to click the share button. I've got
here also as well.
Copy. All right, this is getting really exciting because we're almost ready to go. And you know what? We're only 6 minutes behind, and we're after the script reading. Do you know how impressive that is?
You know, it's impressive that they got through the script reading that quickly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of passing marks in the room. They only have
Okay.
They all have a sheet. 7 people.
All right, it tells me 8 people are viewing, so we basically got all of YouTube on here. We good
Yeah.
to go.
All right,
Speaking of which,
what's the deal?
I got plans for this, so don't worry. Now, welcome everyone, most honorably and properly, to the Fan Creator Roundtable. Thank you for joining us. I know it's after hours. I know people are hungry. I know you all thought there's going to be food, but guess what? There ain't. All right. We are here to talk a little bit about the act of creation while also being fans. We're going to start off by just quickly doing a little bit of named introduction. My name's Chris. My internet name's Vangelist. Sometimes I'm Chris Vangelist. When I got cards, I can do mind freak things. Thank you. Over to my left.
Hi, my name's Lindsay. I got conscripted at the last second. I do a series called The Whole Plate, which is dedicated to film theory using only Bayformers.
My name is Paul. I'm Paul. I have a YouTube channel. It goes by the name of Optimus. I review toys and action figures.
Yeah, I'll try to read it. Hi, I'm John, and I'm an alcoholic. No.
The panel's tomorrow.
Anything, I'm a plastic addict. I am a fan turned pro with always had to be becoming a professional voiceover, but got into it kind of through the medium of creating content for just fans that I just thought it was funny that I would make it. But that covers everything from stop motion to fake toy reviews to actual animated sketch stuff to articulated comic book art. Any ACBA fans out there?
Woo!
Yeah, right. So there's just lots and lots of stuff out there to make for any fandom. So I just kind of wormed my way through it until I started working for the official thing and then couldn't do it anymore because I don't even try. I wormed my way through.
So that's all who's up here on the panel. Now, I just want to throw out there, fan creation is not limited to just what we do, and you've seen plenty of it around the show. If you've been walking around today, there's a bajillion excellent cosplay folks, a bajillion excellent artist folks, a bajillion metric excellent soap makers. If you haven't gone by that table, then y'all are not doing the convention properly, that's all I'm saying. Although, I don't know what to do with the soap when I buy it, because it's bespoke and well made.
Spirit free.
I feel like if I rub it on myself, it's what it's for, but I'm destroying it.
No, when you use soap, you just got to get used to using nice things. I think there's this sort of college student mentality where you're like, I can't use the nice thing.
But it's all clear on the. I could wrap it up and put it into
and then next year you buy another one.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
You can do like an ASMR video of you just scrubbing yourself.
Okay, well, y'all, I didn't know we were spoiling my April 1st content, but if we're really going to go there, there's going to be a little, what do you call them, annotation. You click it, depends whether you want the camera to go up or down. It's going to be worth it, because there's a gag. I'm making this up, it's not real. To get this panel kind of flying off to a start, first I want to ask all of you out there, do any of you have any questions about the act of creation? You don't have to ask them right now, I'm just curious if you have any questions. Because if only one of you in the back does, I've got plenty of time for A, you to percolate that question, and B, plenty of y'all to percolate some more questions, because I have some questions myself to get us going. These will be going, down the line. Unrelated, I can't get sound to come out of the laptop into the speaker system of the room. It's back.
I think it's good. Yeah.
We fixed it. Thank you, AV team. Round of applause for the AV team, Unsung Heroes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. These questions are going to have time limits because we all have interacted with YouTube at some point. So we all know how timing is important. The algorithm doesn't care if you have anything to say after whatever amount of time, et cetera, et cetera. So I want us to give elevator pitches for what we do on the internet. However, I can do this louder too. It has to be done in 45 seconds, and I have a stopwatch, so you can't cheat. I'm going to go last because I'm running the stopwatch.
45
So,
seconds for all of us? Or?
oh no, each.
Okay.
I'm being nice because this could fill up 15 to 20 minutes.
I could do.
You can do it.
So tell
What?
us which one
I
more
could do
time.
10 seconds per person.
Elevator pitch
For what?
for what you do as a fan creator.
Okay.
And if you think you can do it, you think you can do it?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I told you it already started? Go.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I have done this elevator pitch so many times, so I'm just watching this,
Yeah.
all right, I can.
I mean, you got milliseconds
10,
too.
11, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So basically, my elevator pitch is simply that I have a bachelor's degree from NYU in cinema studies, and I have a master's degree from the University of Southern California, which is obviously the top film school in the world. And I use that to make a miniseries exploring film theory using only Michael Bay's Transformers films.
Not bad. It was under 40 seconds. That's something to beat. Over to you, Paul.
Wow. Okay. We got 10. There we go. Quickly, new toys come out. I like them. I pick them up. I play with them on a camera. I show people how to transform them on cameras. And that's it.
18 seconds, Jiminy Cricket.
You have all these fancy school things. I
Whew.
learned nothing.
The elevator pitches are usually supposed to be 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is the YouTube elevator
he's
pitch.
giving you 45.
That's cool.
I'm a friendly person.
I think 45 is generous. I think I did 45 seconds.
Yo, John, what if I told you that began right now?
I basically just make fun of what he does. I just fake review the toys badly on purpose, and character. You play to your strengths. I do voices, so I played everything that's kind of based on that. I do articulated comic book style, like recreations of the original G1 stuff, a little bit of stop motion, a little bit of CG stuff, fake trailers, things like that. Pretty much the gist of it.
Man, that's like 23 seconds. All right, well, all right,
You get all the extra
45
time.
seconds. Here we go. No, it doesn't add up. All right. Okay, someone's going to start. You want to start? All right. Hi, my name is Chris. I have a YouTube channel where I
You've caught so many junkions and can hardly tell them apart. Enjoying your toys has become so difficult. Can anything save you from this calamity? I don't know what to do.
Toy Hacks has the solution! New and improved Junkion retro labels! Turn a trio of bland visual enthusiasts into mighty musketeers!
friggin' YouTube ads. Let me tell you.
Yeah, perfect.
Damn it.
Perfectly out of time.
Okay, you know what? If you want to know what I do, you can come find me later. I got business cards. It's all gonna be fine. We're good. Anyway, next question.
You're very nice.
Thank you. They came in that little pack. People don't always know that. Okay, so we did elevator pitches. Next up, this is one you're gonna have 90 seconds because this is a bit more of a open-ended question.
Because we get it early in the first question, right?
Basically, yeah, that's why I wrote 90 seconds on here because I knew you'd all do a really good job. The question is, how do you get through a slump? You just can't do anything, or when you can't get the stuff you want to do to come out. Let's start over with.
So when I get the slump, it's very hard to get remotivated. So I try to just find friends that I collaborate with, either online or in person, and we just literally brainstorm. We just come up with ideas. We throw out a dozen or so pitches. We try to come up with whichever ones make us laugh the most. And then we have other friends that we have similar senses of humor with, or similar collaboration, similar style, whatever. And then we bounce it off a third person, whichever one they laugh at the most. That's like, okay, let's do that one, do that one, do that one. And then that goes into the production process and leads to the final thing. So I don't think I need a full 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's 38 seconds.
Yeah.
That was under 45.
I'm gonna have so much time left over when I get done.
And by the way, this is the time you have left to do the actual life-threatening thing, the saw trap. Like, I don't know if you saw it under the table, but don't look. Anyway, go ahead.
Have a slump.
He's in one right now.
I am. There's a lot of times I'll be sitting there and I'll be saying things, I'll be playing with it, and I'm like, I don't like the way that sounds, I don't like the way that sounds, I don't like it. And it gets very frustrating. I literally have to get up, walk away, and turn my brain off. It's very easy to do for me. Just turn it off, watch TV, listen to some music, just get out of that space that I'm in where I'm trying to create something. Step out, reevaluate, come back. Sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it's a matter of a couple hours I'm able to do it. But then when I come back, recharge, go back at it, hopefully it comes out sounding better than it did before. If not, rinse and repeat.
I got some bad news for you.
Oh.
You went over 45 seconds, but your time limit was 90, so it's all good.
Oh.
So over to you.
I don't honestly know how to answer that question because I know we're kind of like talking about Transformers related things respectively, and and this is kind of my own fault, but like I have been like progressively going into more and more difficult topics as my mini series progresses. I don't know if you follow it, but like the last one I did, I think, was Marxism. As it relates to Michael Bay, which is funny. You can laugh.
Is that like Marxism as in Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like how his Texan accent relates to his Boston. Yeah. Like, oh my God, Optimus Prime. I think the workers should cease and desist production. Why don't you just do it? So,
Mark Wahlberg?
yeah. So honestly, like, with regard to the very specific thing I do, the thing that honestly causes me the most slump is trying to ride around the cesspool of toxicity that is YouTube. And there's no nice way to say that, where I'm just like, the next one we're planning is critical race theory.
It's going to go great.
It's going to go great. It's going to be really good.
You are still...
Girl, next time.
You came in at 75 seconds. So that's well
Nice.
done.
You win.
Yeah, so far. Maybe I could break 90 seconds and lose.
There's another ad.
So only one ad locked in.
What about the mid-roll ad?
Trust moi.
Yeah, the mid-roll.
Mid-roll.
We're not halfway through the panel yet. This is a 1-hour panel. Jiminy Cricket. When I get into a slump, there's always a couple things. There's paths, right? The current fork I'm in is the one video every month or two whilst I film stuff several times a week. And I have a gigantic, enormous vat of footage of packaging to use for the opening 30 seconds of many videos that will eventually birth themselves into the world. But the way I get through a slump is I just make myself make something that I think I'm going to hate. And I hate making it the whole time. And then I just go like, oh, well, here it is. Here's the end. I put it out. And then people are like, all right, cool. Oh, okay.
I'm making a face because I know that feel.
Yeah, and the way I get through a slump in the long term is I start I look at stuff and I find I can assess like, all right, what's something I'm not liking that I'm doing and that no one ever mentions that I'm doing. Maybe I'll try not doing it next time. And usually, no one notices I stopped doing it, except for one friend of mine who will send me a message going like, "Is everything okay? You doing all right?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong with you?" Oh, I'm not going to make 90 seconds. What else? And then I go on to like spiritual retreats through the streets of Toronto, just wandering down young streets until inspiration catches me, and I find I can once again create. 129:49.
I was going to move a quick thing out, by the way. Because of these new apps coming forward, like there's a lot more to do now than it's not just YouTube anymore. Now you got to do Instagram, and you got to do Facebook, and you got to do Twitter, and not all formats are the same. You can't exactly just slap your stuff up on YouTube onto Instagram. So
Yeah.
it requires a lot more effort. So it's easy to get into a slump because it's overwhelming.
This is still within your 90 seconds. I hope you can.
I've still got plenty of time.
I've actually really been liking Instagram because I can just take pictures of food or take pictures of myself trying to look cute, and I'm like, hey, actually, this isn't.
Was it like the?
Totally. I go up and I go.
With your staff.
Okay, I gotta get my like T-shirt.
Like that.
This is what everybody knows. Like, looks like.
Yeah.
They all just do this all the
I watched that episode of Agretzico, the Christmas special, and it was eye-opening. Our next question from me. By the way, you all got to think of questions too. All right, that's part of the agreement of this. That door's closing until one of you asks questions.
That's right.
You think it's open? You see all the people by the door? You try to go for that open door? Wham! Unless you're the one that we're allowing to go through there. You don't know.
You don't know which one of them is.
Another 90-second question for y'all. What satisfaction do you take in the act of creation? And that is to say, when you're in the moment of making something, not this is before you've posted it, while you're making it, just a little thing. What makes you go like, oh, yeah, that's why I like it. That's why I like it, yeah! So you want to go first?
No, I question. Is this Transformers related or everything?
In this one, I'm going to say everything related, just the creation of the stuff that you like. I guess if you want to pare it down, Transformers.
No, I think it is.
relevant.
It is very it is kind of tangential because as the girl, it's a little bit loaded. Whenever you're kind of doing a thing in a not, in a traditionally male space. So I'm gonna let the males look
Oh,
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, say whatever it is.
You're
We're gonna go because they're still on the clock.
All right, it's going.
She's 6 years seconds.
You're 5 seconds in.
just the satisfaction of getting it done. I mean, you put all the work into it, and when it's done and it's finally there and you're about to share it with the world, there's a little bit of nervousness, like it's about to go out, everybody's going to see it. But right before that, there's a, okay, good, all set.
All right. Go!
No, use my time.
So a little bit like what you said, but also it's like when we put together something, there's a lot of parts to it. I mean, it's not just one easy thing. I've seen people try to do it one way all the way through, and I'm not saying anything wrong. But it's like it takes forever to do it that way, and the editing so much. So the way I put together my ideas, it requires a lot of small pieces to put together in one full thing. So once I see the whole thing there, and I've gone through there, and I've slowly edited away stuff that didn't work, or it wasn't good, or I didn't think it was as funny as it should be, or wasn't as entertaining, and then I get it down to the final version where it's completely done, it's completely edited, it's perfect. It's just like, this is so good now. Like seeing it all together, come together, being finished, it's like, yes! I know exactly what Chris said. Well, it's a feeling of relief, but it's also like, that's exactly what I had in my head all this time. But you were kind of nervous up to that point seeing it in pieces until you put it together.
Coming from here and
Yeah, seeing your finished product, like, it's like, yes, other people will like this too.
Well,
I like this.
In the grand scheme of things, our editing, your
It's 10 seconds out.
is very minimalistic in terms of what we do. Chris,
I hit the lap button.
Oh, that's okay. Well, this is leading into you now. You are one of the most impressive editors I've ever seen in terms of toy reviews. I mean, you blow all of us away. So,
Well,
just lobbing that over.
that initial yelling thing was kind of me trying to clear, because I looked at the question I wrote and I was like, there's a whole lot of missing words in here. To make it clear. I wrote 90 seconds. All right, I'm very.
Oh, I thought you meant specifically it was like Beast Wars only.
Creation in the 90s. So for me, there's something, and it's not just in Transformers stuff, but in general, when I make media, be it like audio or visual, the thing that makes me feel really happy by myself before anyone sees it is when I pull off some kind of edit, be it visual or audio, where I've done something I didn't think I was going to accomplish, or I hear it or see it, and I think, hey, that worked on try number one. And I don't notice all the number of times it works on try number one, but that's where I feel all right, because I feel like I'm doing something that makes me that makes me feel like I did something that I would not believe I could do, and that makes me satisfied. Then I go like, oh, but I got to finish the rest of this. What if I just put this clip up on Twitter? Just put that up. Who cares about
Well,
station?
sometimes the idea in my head is so much better than the way it comes out, when it actually comes out the way I see it. Like it's like, it's exactly what I wanted.
I donate those seconds to you, John.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's my answer. That's all of our answers. So I pass it over to you.
Okay.
I'll push the stop and then the reset and then the back.
Okay, so this is a bit of a loaded question because I feel like, okay, so literally last night, I had a very trusted colleague that I'm sure half of you in this room know who he is, but I'm not going to name him. He's working on a Transformers thing, and he mentions this thing that I did back in like 2009, and he won't shut up about how like bad it was and how defensive I seemed, and I, with the hindsight of being 34 and not caring anymore, am like, yeah, it was incredibly defensive because at the time I was actually way more active in the fandom than I am now, which is kind of impressive because I have a literal mini-series about Transformers. And I was basically really hamstrung by A, the company I was working for, and B, the culture at the time. And it felt like an act of transgression even talking about it. And I think that the fact that this video that this guy is talking about, which I don't think you can find online anymore, and I hope you can't because it's terrible. I assume I haven't actually watched it since I made it. That I did, like, between that and I want to think 2016 was when I started the whole plate, was when I felt like comfortable enough in A, my own skin, and B, the fandom, that it would be acceptable for me to do this thing. Even like, I feel like a fairly modest thing, like it was the thing I was doing was okay and acceptable. And I feel like simply kind of existing as a semi-public BNF in this space is an act of transgression. And it's kind of hard to talk about it in just simply those terms because you don't want people to think about you talking about a piece of media as an act of transgression, but as a fan, it is, if you are not the primary target audience. And there's always going to be this, like, I don't want to say backlash, but this sort of sense of distrust within a certain sect of the fandom if you are not that. And I think that is, like, part of why I feel like the comics have been so important and events like this have been so important that tend to be more inclusive, but if and only if they are inclusive. And I still feel that that's part of why I still haven't finished the whole plate, is because like that inclusivity, that sense that it is an act of transgression just to simply say literally anything about Transformers, even something as basic as Bayformers, is still there. It still feels transgressive for me to be like, let's talk about Megan Fox, you know? And it should not feel that way, but it does, and that is what it is.
So you did it over time.
Yeah,
it actually adds up. I've been keeping track, and we went to the clock when I was doing it. I checked in with the folks from other things, and we're actually still 5 seconds under. So round of applause for all of us. And also, I got more I could say about how weird it is how people react to me. People talk about it, but I'm not going to because I just had the conversation outside in the hallway while I was on my way over here, so I'm not going to do it all over again. But we have one more question. Who? This is another lofty question because I like the word creativity. But this one's a 45-second one, and it actually says 45 seconds. Yeah. I'm not lying. The question is, where do you hope your creativity takes you?
That's an easy one.
Okay, go.
It's already taken me there. Getting into voiceover, working on my favorite brand, Transformers video goal. I did that. So it's going to continue to hope that this keeps going this way. The next prime. Thank you.
You guys have plenty of time. That was 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was, like I said, it was an easy question. Oh, and free toys.
Well, I know the answer. I have 3 episodes left in the whole plate. I would like to finish them.
That was 3 seconds. You just beat John.
People.
All right, you got 3 seconds to beat. Go.
I'm just happy if I help it.
That was actually, I was slow on the button. That was just under 3 seconds. So I concede. I'm going to go normal. All I want to do is to feel like I have more things to learn and create, because plateaus freak me out. So I don't like the idea that I've actually reached the top of anything, because then what am I going to do? So I would like to just sort of become self-sufficient, doing stuff that I think is interesting, which is not a realistic goal, but it's a fun one. It's especially as I decided to kind of become freelancey for the most part. So every day is an adventure, and that's about it. I would like to learn more. You know what? No, I still have time. I also want to make the Tokusatsu miniseries. I've storyboarded in my head. I know who I want to get for the score, and damn it, it's going to be great. It's going to be about 12 minutes long. I just ran out of time, so ask me about it later. All right, last question from my pool of questions. This one is very Transformers related to a degree. It doesn't use the word transformers, but there's an implied transformerism in the word hobby. This is another 45-second question. How does your creativity express your hobby passion?
Well, I mean, everything I collect, I use for specific reasons. Like, I don't buy it if I'm not going to make something with it. I don't just collect stuff just for that. You know what I mean? Like, my hobby directly is related to creating content for the media. So anything that I have specific in mind, something specific in mind for, whatever that might be, whether it's a stop motion animation, whether it's a review, whether it's just doing particular comic book art type stuff, pictures for Instagram, whatever. I've got something in mind for it. And it's also the type of production if you're using that for your business. So that's always beneficial. So yeah, like I literally have, like, it's still a hobby because I still collect it, but I have it's a goal oriented hobby. And it's definitely like, this is what I do and this is what I do with what I've got.
Well timed.
Yeah. New record.
It was a new record. I missed the button again. It was under a second. I saw it with my eyes.
Negative a second.
You know, when the buttons aren't physical, you don't get that tactile feedback. You think you're going to get a nice, right? It's an iPhone, so the haptic's only in the tiny dumbass button down here.
It's not like Androids that have all
Yeah.
of the buttons.
Someone let me type something into their Android phone today, and the whole phone hapticed at me the whole time. And I was like, is this what grass is greener is? Is this like... I want everything to haptic. Like, if everything I own and wear... Yeah, if my clothes would haptic, like if I step on the ground and my entire shirt haptic so I know I stepped on the ground, I might be okay with that. Yeah, you all judge me right now. We'll see.
I used to be an Android.
Oh, Michigan?
How does
Well, I would say in my creativity is expressed in by way of my hobby in many ways, most of them subconscious. But I guess the only way I can really answer this is that I have a project that I'm not really allowed to talk about that is coming out, St. Martin's Press 2020, that has a lot of stealth Transformers references, but no overt ones because that would be illegal.
That's why we say convert and not transform. It's an actual thing. Okay.
Vertical.
I'll pass the stopwatch over. I think it's not fair if I push the stopwatch, honestly. So, you sure? All right. Do you guys trust me to push the stopwatch? You know. So the way my creativity expresses my hobby passion is I've found that I question the whole. It's actually a panel I'm not doing this year here, but there are a couple of them online and more coming soon. But why do we enjoy the toy? I found that I really like collecting toys. I really like Transformers, but specifically the toy side of it has become dominant in the media I make because I enjoy it, and I had to figure out why I enjoyed it beyond just owning things. Which led me to start to find appreciation for figures for other various minute reasons that add up in a certain way where I feel like they're a whole piece I can talk about. And it makes me appreciate things more on a whole. It makes me want to think of toys as more than just merch, which seems to still not be where everyone's at, but it's where I'm at, and that's the expression. Boom! 44.
Nice.
And that ends the questions. I was going to raffle that off at the podcast roundtable. Oh, well.
You still can.
I still can. Yeah.
It's worth more now.
There's going to be 2 winners.
Yay!
Oh, the handheld?
Handheld
Matt.
turn.
Did anyone see the third-party panel?
I did.
Please tell him he did a good job.
You did a great job.
I tracked him down.
Yeah, that's Matt.
Ask Matt.
That's our very own. That's our very own G2 Chris McFeely. Personal in joke.
I caught that.
Yeah.
I helped G1 Chris McFeely start his YouTube channel.
What is up with the mic stand? It looks like someone's like.
Listen, some mic stands got to do hard work. All right.
And he just lean over. We are the champions.
Yeah. It's pre frontman, pre lean. Yeah, I think it's just someone like bumped it. But It is approximately 30 minutes since we started the panel, so we are at the mid-roll point. So you, the audience, shall now be our half-hour-long mid-roll, hopefully. And if any of you guys have any questions you'd like to ask us, not just about creation or about Transformers, but really just about life in general, like, I'm up for answering anything. If you want to ask us about, like, why the architecture of this room's the way it is, or why the lights are in threes, but 2x2x3s. I also got answers about the chairs, because someone asked us about that at the podcast panel yesterday. You'll notice, actually, under the chairs, they're riveted in. Like, it's pretty darn well made. Or Matt, I might have questions for you. I don't know.
So guys, just make a.
We got a question coming up.
Be careful with there's.
Oh, also, I should have said that the nature of that's why I was confused. The nature of the questions is the lineup that forms in the middle. That's what the mic stand was for. I forgot to mention that's what the mic stand was for, is the question thing. So yes, thank you. There we go. We got a system rolling.
The only thing I will ask everyone before we start questions, please, be civil, but be polite, and be respectful, okay? Okay, not a problem. Don't touch the staff.
Yeah, the
Just awkwardly be like, okay.
Do not touch the stand. Also, wait a second.
You touch it, you fall like.
The door has been reset. You may ask your question.
Yeah. If you touch it, then like a hatch opens and you fall through.
What buttons are you? Well, given we've got some TFcon officers here, as well as some veterans, I've got to ask, what is your best experience for weekend so far? How have you done TFcon?
all the money the guy gave me for the stuff at my table. I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
Honestly, get to see all these voice actors from G1 and just all these guys that I know. There's never been this many guests at anything. It's insane. Holy crap, that's amazing. If only they could have gotten the entire cast, that would have been too much. It's too sexy, senor. Too sexy. No, you couldn't do that. Yeah, right. That's mine. That's it. And I go look in your home. Go by his table and check out his
I play ice hockey and I'm going to make it massive. For me, this being my first TFcon, I wanted to go to the one in Canada for years, but I don't want to get a passport, basically.
Plus Canada, right?
Plus Canada.
It goes to Canada, right? Right?
They got the
Right?
South
Yeah.
early.
Michigan is basically like Canada South. It's not much. It's not much different. People coming up. I mean, I see several people in here that I've never met face to face, and being able to talk to them, shake their hand, just thank them for everything that they've ever given me. Just watching a video, liking a video, saying something nice about it, saying something not nice about it. At the end of the day, if you're engaged in my video, it's everything. So seeing the people that I talk to actually face to face is amazing. I love it. Chris.
Okay.
You're the next.
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Do you want to set the timer?
Oh no, it's cool. I turned it off. We actually ran out of uses. That app is not free. I've had a lot of fun catching up with a lot of folks, especially folks I haven't seen for a while. Like my good pal Seth over here, I'm going to point straight at, who's sitting in the audience, right next to my good pal Andy Cook Sucks, who's got a backwards cap on, who's sitting next to my mom, who's been my mom since birth.
Nice.
She's actually responsible for me being here because I was born. So aside from that, actually, leaving out the stuff that actually is more important, convention-wise, I've really been enjoying the TCG. The trading card game room has been hot. I won 10 packs. My Nemesis War Bomb deck came second because, holy crap, Wave 2 Metroplex is real deal. Top OP-ish.
You need these
I
back?
really thought
Any
you were
more
going to
of
say
these?
really enjoying the
Yeah.
THC, and I was like, yes.
Okay, I've been really enjoying the THC, but I don't have to do that here. I live in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's oh, right, you guys have a whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Cash
Sorry.
only.
Yeah.
I have a few cards here.
Oh.
I have a lot I've been selling. And
Do you need me to teach you how to play the game? 'Cause
I don't really care about the game. I just want the cards.
If you're gonna ditch any of the little boring parts, oh, you broke that bag. You broke that bag in half.
TCG broke that bag.
TCG room, by the way, is still open tomorrow. There's not going to be any tournaments, but you can come by for open play. You can help me. You can help me do reps with my deck.
I'm gonna take all these cards that I'm getting rid of. So if you're missing anybody at all, or you need booster packs, or you just want to buy some, I've got time.
John, I got to talk to you later.
Yeah.
If you have super rare Starscream, we actually need to talk.
I have everything.
Hang on, I can't see you, John. We need to talk. If you have super rare Starscream.
I have all of the star screens. All of the things.
All the things.
Also, I said this in the podcast panel. I love that the lingo for tweaking a deck in a card game is that you're doing reps with your deck. It's my favorite thing. My Nemesis War Bombs on V5. Me and my pals at the FLGS like to do reps with our deck in front of each other to try to tweak the power. We got to get the decks consistent by doing more reps.
I feel like we need to do a commercial now. TCG.
I don't feel happy till I'm sweating on my cards.
How rep is your deck?
Anyway, that's what I had fun doing. Did you? Where's it going? Fun
Oh,
doing?
no, everyone's been really nice. Oh, I've only been here for like 4 hours. I live here, so.
That's 240 minutes.
Yeah.
So, hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Hi. It's great to see you all because I thought you were going to be listening a long time. I was surprised that Ellis was here, but sorry, I didn't expect her to be here at all. I didn't know too much time.
I live here.
Well, I know that. I thought you were working.
I keep hearing that. Probably because I lived there for a very long time, and that is an incredibly fair thing to think.
My question is, I usually they were like Michael Bay, you really are fan performers. So how did you find you here last year?
Oh, well, I mean, like, we've been planning to come here. Like, I just came in here as an attendee, and then, like, I knew Chris from, like,
Something.
yeah, something.
Something.
And he's like, do you want to just be on it since technically this applies to you? And I was like, sure. You know, and, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like, I guess technically I've been in Transformers fandom since, like, you know, the Bush administration, but, like, I don't really do anything with it other than, like, the very highly specific thing I do with the whole plate, which is, yeah, which is, you know,
Is it that Bush or the I threw a shoe?
Yeah, which one is
Which
which
Bush are we
one?
talking about?
I mean, you could make a case for both.
Oh.
1,000 points of articulation.
Well,
I'm
Only the guys who are.
I'm not from your country. I'm not from your country. I don't understand.
well, you see, we had these two presidents, and one was the
One gave birth to another president.
Baby Bush.
So when I say like the Bush administration, people are like, well, which one? And I'm like, well, the one that traumatized us, obviously, the Dana Carvey one.
Oh, the guy who does the turtle thing in that one movie.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it's kind of one of those things, right? Like, I don't know. It's always kind of like a weird thing where it's just like you kind of keep it on the DL. But yeah. Thank you.
Further observation from Texas and South America.
You said to ask you any questions. I like to ask you the only one. What is
Only logical questions.
What is the meaning to life?
Well, it's really
right now.
it's really simple. The meaning to life, it's a question you ask. Depending how you phrase the question, one can really say the answer, right? It has to do with machine code. Machine code uses a certain pair of numbers to denote the asterisk. The asterisk is often used to fill in anything you want. Therefore, if you were to go by old-timey machine code, 42 is what you put in to get the asterisk to pop out. And basically that means anything you want. The meaning of life is whatever you want it to be. The pursuit of happiness and to hopefully not eat and consume another human being. But if you do it,
Don't do that anybody.
you can still make a good life. Talk to me about it anytime.
You eat.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but Canada, you can do it.
Just be happy and make other people happy.
There's a lot of happy body from Canada, guys.
I had
Covered maple syrup.
my good friend and colleague John Spalding would there'd just be like a lot of like white noise and then something about a burrito. So I would say burrito.
I prefer Jimmy John's.
Not taking a tangent, but I did try Del Taco. That's exotic to me because I'm not from here.
It's true.
And it was pretty good.
Did you get tacos with French fries?
Yeah, French fries felt like kitty French fries, but it was really good, and then it hurt, and then it was really good again. So
The circle of life.
It hurt, and then it was good, and then it was good.
That's exactly the same.
It was good, and then it hurt, and then it was good again. The circle of life.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
So, first very serious question. This panel was called the Roundtable. You are sitting at rectangular.
I have issues
Why
about.
your tech spec says your intelligence is a 10. You figured out that this is a rectangular table.
He figured it out.
You.
He put the head on.
I have an actual answer to this.
Figured out
Jeffrey,
round.
When we do the podcast roundtable, I usually like to pull the middle in to form a V so everyone can see each other. I tried to do that last night, and the table almost fell off of this thing. So I decided to leave it alone. But usually I actually don't like everyone sitting in a line because I can't see John.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here. I swear.
No, it doesn't matter which way you're leaning. Then you can't see me.
Yeah,
Right?
That's true. Oh.
So it's an eternal problem. Round tables are better, and you guys all have to be above us, like looking down like an operating theater.
However, I will say that functionally roundtables tend to only really work with like a Hollywood Reporter style like camera. People are filming it. So like I can't imagine what a round table would look like if it was in front of an actual audience.
Wow. Second very serious question. Is Rumble red or blue?
Red. It alliterates. Rumble is red. It alliterates. Alliteration is great.
I think he's blue. I've always thought that.
Oh man.
He's blue, Rumble's red. If it wasn't the other way around when they re-released it, just saying.
The answer is both their names are on the package, and they're both in the package.
Yeah. Ooh, so you put them together, make Red Rumble.
Rumble.
Very final serious question.
Frumble.
Rumble.
Final serious question. How long do you think it will take for the Transformers card game to become as broken as you?
Approximately 15 years. I actually thought this out.
He's got to answer that question, didn't you? He's like, he did the math, son.
You don't stump this panel. It's the round rectangular panel. Next question.
Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts on Transformers?
They all look a little bit nicer in person, and the hand feels a lot more meaty in person. I was impressed by that Wave 1. I wasn't thinking much of it, but then that hound transformed all over the place, and that shockwave grew all those arms, and you could apply the shock fleet to him to make him bigger. I was pleasantly surprised. I think that all the... I made him into a horse. I got a Twitter video. Yeah. It was sort of a horse. He was... Okay, I won't disagree. He was like 60%.
I have seen some custom transformations that are very representative of Galvatron's ship from the 86 film. When ship was turned into ship mode and flipped upside down, like that is what I'm going to use my alternate second shockwave for. I'm not a huge fan of the damage, like the silver paint. It's literally this silver paint splatter. I appreciate them trying to do something different with it. I just personally don't care for
Would
it.
you rather them go back to the stickers?
No, I'm not that either. I just didn't think it really needed it. If it did need it, why is it all exactly the same kind of? It's all so much bigger. All some. Are any of them like black pendulous? The battle damage, or is it also the paint?
It's generally all silver, and a lot of people have had a lot of good results putting all kinds of corrosives on Q-tips and rubbing it on the toy. Don't put it on Soundwave's chest, though. It makes his chest melt, unless you want that.
Yeah, too much of that stuff will literally be black. But as far as their designs, like they do look pretty great. I'm literally replacing Generation 2.
I mean,
that hasn't happened.
No, that hasn't happened since Generations came out.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm having a hard time with is Starscream. Because that Starscream Classics mold to me is still like the definitive version of it.
But I am glad that they're doing like the Cybertronian versions finally.
Yeah.
Like those are really good for it.
I'm just glad someone's talking about the hand feel.
Yeah, so am I. Next question.
That was a deep
You've been
cut.
thinking about his question
Oh.
for 45 minutes.
He's got it.
Feel free to take the question in any direction you want. If you want to catch anyone who off guard. But you all have relatively large followings, so to speak. Followings. How much do you feel you have? I don't know, like a version.
Hey, I did that too.
And you ripped it up.
I got 4.
Guys, think about that.
How much of a responsibility do you feel like you have to your audience to not necessarily like say what's right or what is good, but like how much do you feel you have same kind of responsibility?
You mean like a ethical responsibility to like be careful with your words?
With that was just like
You're just being honest. It's just being like.
You mean in the
honest
context of what we're presenting, like if it's a
Yeah.
product review, if it's etc. Okay, I got an answer to that because I went through a bunch of phases with that. So like I'll start off by saying, and this might make it disagreeable, I don't believe there's such a thing as an objective review. And that was what made it a lot easier for me to do stuff. I stopped making recommendations. I stopped trying to like present stuff scientifically, and kind of just spoke about what stuck out to me. You make some comparisons in context, obviously, but when it comes to like product review, even when it's product review that's trying to take it as more of like a consumption of a form of media, the way I like to do it now, it's got to be about how it affected me, and from that, how it then resonates with you. Bounces off a point I make in the Why Do We Enjoy the Toy panel. It's a big thing a lot of people have to cross that I think is still difficult for our current enthusiast culture to get over, which is you don't have to own something because you like it, and you don't have to hate something because you don't own it. And you can just like enjoy bits and pieces of things. And so in the media I make, I try to just get across like, this is why I like a thing, this is why I like this bit. I'll sometimes say, a lot of people don't like this thing, and I agree. Or a lot of people don't like this bit, but I do, so screw them, let's go fight. I think I've challenged viewers to fight me at least like 40 times in the last 10 years. It's never happened so far.
Well, it's also because it's Transformers. Like it's kind of weird, but like for whatever reason, Transformers has more or less not been terribly tainted by the culture wars. Like, I mean, it's not that it's not there, but for the most part, it's not like, there's no The Last Jedi style like thing that people are fighting over.
Yeah.
That said, I absolutely think that content creators they absolutely cultivate their audience, and when people delude themselves into thinking that they don't, that's just wishful thinking on their part. They absolutely do, and I think the tricky thing is you're kind of like, you go from like a guy with a blog with 10 followers to a guy with a blog with 100,000 followers to a guy with a blog with 1 million followers, and your mindset never really changes because like there's this sort of, I mean like millennial idea that like, no, we're all equals, we all exist on equal power levels, and so like guy with 10 followers is on the level of guy with 1 million followers, and that's just not true. And that's a huge problem, honestly. I think with like it doesn't matter if you're a fan enthusiast, if you're like an academic, or just like some guy with a Twitter blog, you do cultivate your audience. Mm-hmm. And if you just say whatever and you kind of tilt to what people want to say, you're going to cultivate an unethical audience. There's no not nice way to say that.
Even within the context of just doing like talking about a hobby you're into, I think that tone can have a lot of stuff that affects the way people both like enjoy you and the way people start to act. Like I try to give off an air of like I try to give off positivity that is not positivity about the stuff I'm doing, but positivity and interaction. Like if I dislike something, I try to avoid, unless it is like straight up like I know I'm going to make fun of a friend of mine or something like that, and it's all good, and then I'll take a few like 3 at my face if I get one of yours. And try not to like say like only a blah 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 will like this, or like how could anyone, et cetera, et cetera. It's more like this, if you keep things kind of positive, kind of extroverted to a degree, and very much about yourself and the thing that's on screen, just when in product review. You tend to just get a lot of people who hang out that are really chill. Like my comment sections are generally lovely outside of like the 2 guys who keep disliking everything. Because
only 2? You're great.
Yeah, it's really funny though. It's automatic. Like I think they're bots, but that's I got nothing against bots, by the way. They're one day they're gonna rise up.
Yeah.
But you generate like an audience that then like begins to just be chill. Like I don't want I'm not going to take your word or anything, but I don't want just followers who watch what I do. I want people who I can hang out with.
Well, here's the thing that people don't really like to talk about, and this is the thing that is outside of your control, which is the algorithm. And algorithm rewards emotionality. And that's why people that like have really highly emotional reactions to things tend to get really popular. Like, for an example that I've heard a lot of people mention today that has very little to do with Transformers, which is Angry Joe. And I'm going to not make a value judgment on this man. However, his name is Angry Joe. And his emotionality is part of why he got such a big following. However, the consequence of that is his big following tends to react to emotionality. And that is sort of the I guess, paradox of like, I want to make things that are like kind of maybe both sidesy, or like I want to explore a topic, but what the algorithm rewards is rage.
Yeah, big red arrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's rage way more than it is, I really like this thing. So it's really honestly hard to cultivate an audience that is not garbage in the year of our Lord algorithm. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
That's why when you find creators that you think are creating like a really nice, like just in their own channel, in their comments, it's like creating it somewhere you like to hang out, or like on social media, if they're just someone you like to talk to, like let them know now and then, and also don't then prop them up. Like cult of personality is part of the problem.
Engage with things that are not super emotional. Engage with things that you're like, good for you.
Like
5 out of 10. You did it.
and just jump in with them if they're doing dumb stuff. Like if I go on Twitter and I just go like fart, you know, like
Like
you
there
don't have to tell me
has
it's
to be
great.
room for things that are not on the extremes. Because like the way it is, like extreme positivity and extreme negativity, this is the sine wave right now. And that is why algorithm is such garbage. And again, I don't want to say that like Angry Joe is garbage, but the fact that he does appeal to emotionality means that his viewers tend to kind of react in turn.
We even get that in Toy Talk. Like when a new line comes out, I'm sure y'all have heard it. It becomes like a new air raid comes out. It's a much lower tone, but it's people who go like, "Hey, does this air raid replace the old one?" Or like, "Hey, is this thing trash or is it good?" Like I've heard that before, and I'm kind of like, it's trash.
Is it a 0 out of 10 or is it 11? Like,
yeah.
There's no in between.
It's like how many are left to the dealer? I want one. It's trash. Leave. All right, I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
I'm in a very tight spot when it comes to what my fans expect versus what I'm allowed to do. Because when I things that you once I veered outside of just the fandom and then went into it professionally, I mean clearly they're not going to take kindly to me saying anything negative about anything. But I have a lot of very opinionated fans. I also have a lot of autistic fans, and I feel like I'm sitting at a table with I love Transformers change my mind. You know, because that people come up to me with their opinions already made up, looking for either validation or looking to argue.
Exactly.
And I can't. I can only say the positive. I just try to say the positive thing. I literally highlight the positive stuff, and I avoid just talking about anything negative, or especially if it's my own opinion, because you saw how quickly websites got things taken out of context when they came with the Bumblebee being, oh, it's a reboot. We've heard it very. No, you didn't. You took something and you did. So now anybody coming to me asking me, I made a joke. Literally, this actually happened. I made a joke about it being a reboot. I thought it was kind of funny. So people kept saying it was a prequel and a reboot. I was like, well, maybe let's do both. Let's call it a reboot. And then I had people like on the freaking website saying, oh, voice actor John Bailey said such and such, so that means it must be true. I'm like, oh, is it a joke? I'm right here. I come to these sites too. Hello. So I have to guard very carefully what I say because let's face it, guys, I want to be working for Transformers and I want to use it.
Voice actor John Bailey has a busted bag full of cards.
He does. I do. I have 60 cards.
Thank you.
I think we probably only have time for like one or two more.
So everybody lightning round. Yeah. 2 second questions.
We can lightning round.
1, 2, 3, go.
Lightning
Yeah.
round.
To answer one person.
Did you get feedback from Javi?
I didn't. But Javi is a very, very busy person.
Also,
With swivels.
who's your favorite Star Trek out of all the Star Trek?
The Iron Factory one. The Iron Factory one.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right.
So with all your toy reviews, you guys have a good relationship with Hasbro and Takara?
I don't.
I do.
I get along with the TCG people, and they're technically Hasbro.
I used to do these, fake, time release things, like fake version of a real toy review where I make fun of the toy, but not really, but because that I'm working with them now, I'm like, I have to find another way to to keep in their good graces by not doing that anymore.
I wind my way basically onto the like H list of like Paramount the promotions. So.
Man, I'm only on the J list.
I don't think they care.
Nuts.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys are gonna buy these Transformer toys whether or not people review them or not, so we don't care.
I get like press releases for Cyberverse and that's it. So, yay.
Yeah.
There was a woman handing out postcards of pictures she took, and I got two of the most majestic pictures of Shockwave I've ever seen. I was like,
Oh, cool. Just maybe after.
okay,
I'll still be here.
I think I'd be careful.
No, oh,
One piece or two.
it's because of my large bosoms.
Question for the guy with the sack of trademarks.
Yes.
Oh, you pass them over here?
Yes. I will be selling them in the card game area.
The man with the lions on his shirt is the last question.
Is there a particular reason why on some of the reviews you transform them during the transformation, not how they come out of the package? Like they come out of the package robot mode, you start with a new vehicle, or vice versa. Is there a reason for that?
I got a quick one from back in the day. You get the toy, you mess with it a whole bunch, and then your brain actually defaults to, oh, it was packaged in vehicle mode, obviously, because that's when it's asleep. And then when it wakes up and its head comes out, then it's awake.
That's pretty much true.
But that is something that a ton of people hear. Like I've heard it, and I'm trying really hard to go in order. Even though my transformations are more montage to focus on just moments of engineering, I'm trying to go in order because, like, yeah, it can. I have been frustrated before by, say, like an obscure, unofficial IP infringing toy that 15 people bought. One made a video. They transformed it backwards, and also the video was shot in a potato. And I'm like, oh no, now I don't know how it works because the instructions are like on the back of a napkin. So yeah, I hear you.
It just happens.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it's also the editing you forget to put.
Or just human
in front of
nature.
the other clip.
For me, it's literally just how I've always done it, and it just I default to car, robot, back.
Well, it does say on the package card, the robot, and back again. So it's like, you start on the car.
Instructions.
More old people, maybe for movie.
You're a toy person.
More of the last year, or was it like the most looking forward to for this coming year?
What was it? Hex wrench. Hex wrench. I saw Hex wrench and I was like, I need it.
What's the hex wrench?
It's real jack. Was it iron factory?
Oh, the little real jack. I didn't know you had a name.
Hex wrench.
Hex wrench. I'm down. Did you see Steel Lucifer?
I was just during the third party panel and I was like, Hex wrench, and my eyes caught on fire.
You gotta read some of them third party names. They're pretty good.
I know, they're so good. I love them all. I was taking pictures all day today.
Oh, I love the names. The names are freaking great.
War catastrophe.
Yes.
That's good.
Hex wrench.
I'm actually kind of hyped. I'm trying to talk myself out of buying the transforming ninja toilet samurai that they got over in the dealer room. Because the guy running TCG stuff got it. I already been hyped about that toy because whenever people on my stream would say, like, yeah, basically, like for tiny people.
Oh, tiny.
They would go like, they'd be like, what would you transform into? I'd be like, a toilet. And then they made me. And I kind of got to get it, but it's so expensive.
So you transform into a toilet?
No, in my fantasy world.
Oh.
But like the instructions are literally a like scroll with like golden ink on the outside that you open up, how to turn the toilet into a samurai toilet.
Mine's really easy. Omega Supreme looks freaking phenomenal. I'm so happy I can finally finish off my Titans.
I'm on board.
Because right now I've got that third party masterpiece Omega Supreme, which is pretty great. I may still keep that one. Yeah, I may still keep that one to go along with my masterpiece stuff, but for like anything else,
Looking at the siege one,
the problem is, the problem is those IKEA shelves that I have, the third party Omega Supreme is like a foot and a half too tall. You squatted down like a freaking catcher for a baseball game. He's almost on the ground, and everybody else is standing up like, what's going on here? So,
Whatever you want to call them. These
Skyfire slash Skyfire, that's them.
Those.
I love the gimmick that you can swap it to Decepticon symbol over. That's super.
That's great.
Shockwave made Gen 5 the comic books, just so you know. Skyfire.
Dave, did you say yours? You did? Oh, it's weird green. Okay. Yeah.
Hello there, young man.
He looks just like my own green right now.
Hi.
Nice. He's an alcoholic.
Biggest question of the show.
I've heard about it.
We
I've
don't
never
have
said
the
duck tacos.
duck tacos at the bar.
Have you tried the duck tacos at the restaurant here?
I have not.
I've heard of so many things.
The one
What
outside.
things? Already heard of duck tacos?
I'm trying the duck tacos tonight, and no one's gonna stop me.
Unfortunately, I'm on keto, so I can't have the bread.
I'm gonna get my mouth all over that foie de taco. We're gonna chew it down. I heard that there's a lot of drippage, so I'm gonna order. This is true. I'm gonna order me a piece of bread to go with it, kind of like an edible sponge to put underneath.
I
Yes.
think I'm gonna get mine as a nice soup, some duck soup, and put some quackers in it. Quackers, come on.
I don't get it. Anyone want to get duck tacos?
Del tacos or del
Duck
tacos?
tacos.
We don't have duck tacos.
Del
tacos.
tacos.
I did Del tacos. No, I got duck tacos.
No, you don't have Del.
No, I had Del
They're just
tacos.
spelling it.
Slightly more
What?
American than
No.
There's no duck
Thank
tacos.
you.
It's not a
Duck
thing.
tacos.
It's not a thing.
What? No, just me.
It's not a
Pretty
thing.
sure they put it out.
I'll prove
You
it.
can't read.
Listen, it's flop. It's flop.
No, it's not.
It's like the flop. What? Hi, man. Let's go. Listen, it's important what we're talking about.
Tell him there's no such thing as duck tacos.
Welcome to
You
the
put ducks on tacos, like duck meat. Duck meat on a taco.
They're not lying to me. I believe the people. You try to control the message. I know there are duck tacos.
There's no such thing as duck tacos.
There are duck tacos. I saw a man eat them.
Tell this man.
This man, he was sitting outside, and he said the duck tacos are real good.
Yeah. He was just messing with you. It's very sad. They do that to Canadians.
I am the voice of you, the people.
Chris, I don't see the comment.
The duck, they're in the outside menu. You said there's two menus.
That's his angry doing.
It's, yeah, so.
Listen.
Bringing it back. Thank you guys.
Emotionality.
Something really cool right now. If you've not gotten into TCG right now, I have an enormous bag of TCG cards. Everybody here is welcome to take one pack of cards on me.
Hey, real quickly before we do that, let's all plug what we're doing at the show. Let's all plug what we're doing.
I was gonna say, I'm not stacking cheese.
Hey, John, where are you tomorrow? John, where are you tomorrow morning? Where are you tomorrow morning?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Down at lunch, okay. John.
I'm not doing anything at the show. So.
I'm really sorry. Did anybody get my rares?
Oh.
Yes, gotta go.
Bye.
I'll take this.
So everyone, round of applause for